Hello guys, welcome back. So today we'll be starting with a new topic, that is paralysis and Brown-Sequard syndrome. Now paralysis, mostly I guess everybody knows what it means, right? So starting first with the paralysis. Now paralysis would be of two types. Paralysis is basically loss of movements. Till now we have understood it like this, right? First let me divide the paralysis, then I'll tell you exactly what is the difference. Complete paralysis, incomplete paralysis. Okay. So if it is complete paralysis, it is also known as plegia. Remember this term plegia. Okay. And if you are having hemiplegia, monoplegia, tetraplegia, plegia means paralysis. That is complete paralysis. For incomplete paralysis, you will have the word paresis. This means partial or incomplete paralysis. Now, what is the difference between these two? Complete paralysis means complete loss of ability of movement, or you can say inability to move. Okay, so it is complete loss of the ability of the movement. Here it is reduced ability. Here it is reduced ability of movement. Actually, what happens in this is, here the muscle weakness is the main cause. Muscle weakness. So there is impairment of the movement. That means the patient has the control over it, but it is very much less. Okay. And we're talking about the voluntary movements over here. Okay. So now this, first starting with the complete paralysis. Now this complete paralysis is divided into two: central paralysis or peripheral paralysis. Now the central paralysis, it is also known as upper motor neuron lesion. So if there's a problem in upper motor neuron, in the previous video itself I've explained you this upper motor neuron and lower motor neuron. So the central paralysis is upper motor neuron lesion, okay? And this peripheral paralysis will be then lower motor neuron lesion, okay? Now what happens in central paralysis? Remember that everything will increase here. Okay, so you have your muscle tone increase. Muscle tone increase is also given a phenomenon, spasticity. Okay, your muscle contraction increases. Muscle tone increases hyper, right? So hypertonia. Muscle contraction increases. Okay, and here tendon jerk reflex and other spinal reflex will also increase. Okay, and here there is one more thing important, that is plantar reflex extensor. Now this is also having one more term, that is Babinski reflex. What is the term Babinski reflex? Now what is this Babinski reflex? When you are tingling a child or anyone on their foot or on their feet, what happens? Their toes, if they goes up, if they extend basically up, moving upwards means what? Extension of the toes, right? So if their toes goes up, this is called as positive Babinski sign. It is normal in children, but it's normal in babies. But if an adult is having this toes going up when we tingle at or when we scratch their feet, then that time, that is indication that the Babinski sign is still positive. It should be negative. Okay, so in adults it's negative, in children it's positive. That is normal. Okay, so Babinski's reflex is positive in case of central paralysis. So I'm writing the meaning of Babinski reflex over here. Tingle on foot is equal to toes goes up, normally present in children, but in adults it is the toes always goes down. You can ask your friend to tingle at your feet. You can see if your toes are going down or it's going upwards. Okay. Now starting with the peripheral, if in the central everything was increasing, in peripheral what happens? Everything is decreasing. So it's muscle tone decrease, also known as hypotonia. Okay. Hypo means less, right? Your muscle contraction will be decreased. Your reflexes will be absent. Here muscle atrophy is present. So muscle atrophy is present over here. And there's one more thing, that Babinski sign will be negative. Babinski sign will be negative. Understood? That is toes goes down. Okay. Now quickly let's move on to the paresis part. So starting with the paresis now. Now this paresis is divided into four. Monoparesis, hemiparesis, this paraparesis, and tetraparesis. Okay, now monoparesis means in this case we are talking about extremities, upper limb and lower limbs. Okay, so monoparesis is either one hand, one right hand, or one right or one left hand, one right leg or one left leg. one extremity affected basically. What is affected? One extremity affected. Hemi means half. That is either right side or left side, complete. Right or left means whole right side, that is right hand, right leg, right hand, right, 1 minute, right hand, this is plus sign, let me add the plus sign in between, right hand plus right leg, or left hand plus left leg. Understood? Now para, in this what happens, upper or lower? Upper limb will be totally affected or lower limb. Okay. Tetra means 4, right? How many extremities we have? 4. So all 4 limbs affected. That is both upper also and both lower also. So remember the word paralysis and plegia. Plegia is for complete paralysis. Paralysis is for incomplete paralysis. Now let's start with the Brown-Sequard syndrome. A very important syndrome. Brown-Sequard syndrome. Now what is this? Here it is caused by hemisection of lesion of spinal cord. That is, your half of the spinal cord is affected, half part of the spinal cord. Okay, or we can also call this as one-sided lesion. Okay, what happens is they will give you a question in this, that there is suppose weakness in the right leg in the right hand, but there is pain and temperature affecting the left hand. This is the Brown-Sequard syndrome they are talking about. Basically, we will be doing this. 3 tracks are there in this which are affected. First of all, let me give you the word here, hemiplegia. This one-sided lesion is hemiplegia. What is hemiplegia? Hemi means half, plegia means paralysis, half paralysis, right-sided paralysis or left-sided paralysis, said before also. So there is, what is happening here? Here it is weakness or paralysis on one side and loss of sensation on another side, on opposite side. Basically, and this is also having a term, that is hemianesthesia. Now hemi, as I said before, means half. An means absence. And aesthesia is a Latin word that means sensitivity. So half loss of sensitivity. Now let's know about the tracks. There are 3 tracks, important ones. First, now the first tract is, we will be studying is corticospinal, right? Remember the pyramidal tracks, corticospinal. Now remember that this corticospinal, it is also known as upper motor neuron. Just remember this. Okay, upper motor neuron. And this gives the damage on the same side. So ipsilateral side damage. Ipsilateral, I'm writing the meaning, it's same side. Does it mean? Same side damage. If the right hand is damaged, that means the right part of the spinal cord is affected. Right leg, right spinal cord, right side of the spine. The second tract name is the posterior column. Remember the ascending tracks, we have done it already in the previous video, I guess. This posterior column function was what? It was fine touch, right? And proprioception. This is also ipsilateral side damage. Understood? Ipsilateral, I'm not writing the meaning again. What does it mean? It means same side. Now you have something called as lateral spinothalamic. Again, the ascending tract. Remember? Thalamic tract. Now, this was controlling your pain and temperature. Now, this sensations, this tract is contralateral. I said you this, I guess, in that video when we were doing this ascending tracks, okay? So, the side of damage is contralateral damage. That's why they gave the question in such a way that the right leg or the right hand of the patient is feeling the weakness. The muscles of the right hand and the right leg is, there's weakness in these muscles, but there is temperature or pain issues on their left hand, or something like that. Such kind of question is there, okay? You'll find it when we'll be doing the basis, ministries and papers together, okay? So this was all about this. And one more thing, it is, remember that the symptoms are visible 2 to 3 vertebrae down. That is, if there's a damage of the spinal cord at the T2 vertebrae, the symptoms will be visible at around T4 or T5 vertebrae, okay? So vertebrae down. This is what the statement means. So that's all about the Brown-Sequard syndrome. I hope you understand. Remember the word hemiplegia. Plegia means paralysis, said before. Hemianesthesia is a new word. Remember this. I am breaking the words and explaining you the meaning, as it will become more easier for you to remember the diseases. Every disease is either Latin based or Greek based. So an is actually a Greek word. Aesthesia is a Latin word. Hemi, again, then half, absence of sensitivity. Understood? So that's all for today. Thank you.